What is up, everybody? This is Daniel Clark, back here with another review. And this time around, it's the Great American Bash 1990, A New Revolution. And a new revolution was indeed born as Sting would capture the NWA Heavyweight Champion of the World from Ric Flair. This was the pinnacle. This was where Ric Flair would pass the torch to Sting, and Sting would become the franchise player, the man, the guy of the decade in the 90s, as Jim Ross would put it. The man who was the man of the 80s was facing the man who would be the man of the 90s in Sting. And indeed, Sting was the man of the 90s. And this was the start of the revolution of the Stinger. Also on this card, we have the United States Tag Team match. A great match, a World Tag Team title match, a U.S. title match, and a few other matches on here. So let's get started right here with the Great American Bash 1990. We start the show with Brian Pillman versus Landale. This match was just bad. Just not from what you're expecting from Brian Pillman. You know, Flying Brian, one of the most underutilized talents of all WCW history, and could not make a good match out of this. Bad match. Pillman beat Landale inside like 10 minutes, whatever. 1.5 stars. I give it 3 out of 10. Next up, we have the second match. We have Mike Rotunda versus the Iron Sheik. His match was shit. His match was bad. This match was awful. This, how am I going to review this match? It's just bad. It's not a 0. It's not even a star. I give it a half of a star. That's right, a half of a star. A 1 out of 10. Half of a star. Bad match. Then we have Doug Furnas versus Dutch Mantell. Yes, Dutch Mantell. Zeb Coulter was wrestling on this night in the Great American Bash. Mind-blowing, I know, but there's plenty of mind-blowing stuff going on later on. This match was shit. I give it 1 star. 1 star and a half. 1.5 star. I'm being generous there. 3 out of 10. It went 11 fucking minutes. 11 fucking minutes. Then we have Harley Race versus Tommy Rich. This match also is shit. I mean, the whole thing with Harley Race said he wants revenge on Rich because he beat him for the NWA World title. Well, so what? Ric Flair beat him. Briscoe beat him. Terry Funk beat him. All for the belt. So, who cares? So what? This match was shit. I also give it a half of a star. 1 out of 10. Oh my god, it was shit. So, for the first 4 matches, this Great American Bash is just very bad. It's probably one of the worst shows of all time. But then it starts picking up, and it picks up real damn fast with one of the greatest matches I've ever seen, one of the greatest tag matches I've ever seen, in the Midnight Express versus the Southern Boys. This match was amazing. There's a lot of matches you think of the Great American Bash, and this match is kind of forgotten, but it's so much of a great match. It's such a great match that I can't believe people don't really talk about it that much. It needs to be shown a lot more in DVDs. It needs to be shown and talked about a lot more, because this is probably one of the greatest matches in Great American Bash's history. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. That's not being generous. That's not overranking it whatsoever, because if you look at a lot of other reviews and you analyze this match, you'd probably come up with a 9.5 out of 10. It's that damn good. It's almost a perfect 10 out of 10. Almost perfect 5 stars. Great match. One of the best of all time. Then we have the debut match. The WCW debut of Vader taking on Tom Zank. This was just a squash match. Vader had this interesting helmet and shoulder pads with smoke coming out of the freaking spikes. It was fucking cool. Really damn cool. Ring gear. He came out with a bike too, I think. I cannot rank this because it was just a squash match. It lasted like 1 minute, 2 minutes. Next up, we have Steiners versus the Freebirds. A 5 out of 10. It was just decent, not much to it, kind of boring. It was weird because there was also this masked man named Bad Street, and it was just really confusing. I think it was elimination as well. Just a bad match. Then we have Orndorff, JYD, and Elegante taking on the Horsemen at this time, who were Arn Anderson, Sid Vicious, and Barry Windham. I knew I would almost forget that, but I didn't, because at this stage, you know, the Horsemen was going by so many people. I mean, they had Sting involved, Luger was part of it, Sid at this point, and then Roma, and then Pillman, and then Benoit, and then Malenko, and then freaking Mongo. But this match is just there, just kind of the good team gets the DQ win. Interesting enough, the Horsemen did not want any part of Elegante because they were afraid they were going to squash him, or the giant man was going to squash him. Yeah, they were afraid this 8-foot-tall guy was going to destroy them. When that guy came and fucking walk, he came and walk. Why would you be afraid of Elegante? Good Lord. And then we go to the most mind-blowing match of all time. The United States Championship on the line here. The champion, Lex Luger, the greatest United States champion of all time, in my opinion, taking on Mean Mark Callis. You don't know who Mean Mark Callis? Does the name The Undertaker ring a bell to you? Because, and no, I did not turn out the lights on purpose. That was accidental. The Undertaker, yes. Mean Mark Callis is The Undertaker before he was The Undertaker. Mind-blowing, yes. The Undertaker is wrestling here before he was The Undertaker. It's the Great American Bash 90s, Mean Mark Callis. What's even mind-blowing enough, even more mind-blowing, is his manager in this night is Paulie Dangerously. Paul Heyman, the man, the one behind the one, in 21-1, whose client Brock Lesnar conquered the Undertaker's streak on this night. His client was The Undertaker before he was The Undertaker. Yes, Paul Heyman managed The Undertaker before he was The Undertaker in WCW wrestling. But this match was just plain, just okay, you know. Mean Mark, at this time in his career, he's not a great wrestler. In fact, he wouldn't be great, putting on great matches until 96, really. But 2 stars, 4 out of 10, yes, mind-blowing enough. Mean Mark Calloway was in a match at the Great American Bash. Had actually an extensive WCW career before he would phase out and be known as The Undertaker. Yes, indeed. I know, it's weird. Then we finally get to the World Tag Team title match between Doom, which was Ron Simmons and Butch Reed, taking on the Rock and Roll Express. This is a great match again. Rock and Roll Express proving to be one of the greatest tag teams of all time in the 80s. And of all time, period. 7 out of 10, 3.5 stars. Great match here. And then finally, the World Heavyweight Championship match between the Nature Boy Ric Flair and Sting. And let me tell you this match. I give it a 9 out of 10. It is one of the greatest matches of all time. It's one of the greatest WCW matches of all time. It's one of the greatest world title matches of all time. It's one of my favorite matches of all time. I've watched this match. I've seen it probably no less than 1 million times. Literally. It is a damn good match. 9 out of 10. The title victory for Sting was absolutely amazing. The crowd went ape shit. As like I said, a new revolution was born. Sting, the torch was passed to Sting. He took the ball and he ran with it. Jim Ross said it best. It was the man of the 80s taking on the man who's going to be the man of the 90s. And indeed, this match was. When you think of the Great American Bash, when you think of amazing matches, when you think about high main event marquee matches in the Great American Bash history, this is probably the match that comes to your mind immediately. It's like Steve Austin versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania. It's like Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. It's like Hogan, Rock. It's like, you know, when you think WrestleManias, you think those matches. When you think Great American Bash, you think Sting versus Ric Flair here. And this was one of the greatest matches. 9 out of 10, one of the greatest matches in the Bash, in the world title matches, in WCW, period. A damn good match. 9 out of 10, 4.5 stars, almost a 10. Almost a 10. But it still holds up well. It's still one of my favorite matches of all time. A new revolution is born, of course. So, overall, however, yeah, you do have the tag team title matches, which were all great. And the world heavyweight title match is legendary and is amazing as well. Those three matches, however, do not make up and make this a good show whatsoever. This does not make, those three matches does not even out to be a good show. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not even good. It's a 4.7 out of 10. That's where I would get it. A 4.7 out of 10 is the average here. Below slightly average. I mean, yeah, the World Tag Team title match and the United States title match is amazing. And it's the greatest match probably in history. And, of course, when you think Great American Bash matches, you think Sting versus Flair. And, you know, so you have those three matches. But you also have, I don't know, you have Dutch Montel versus Doug Furnas, Landau versus Pillman, Rich versus Race, and Sheik versus Rotunda. You also have a squash match and a stupid 6-man tag match where they were afraid of a stupid immovable object, literally. And you have The Undertaker before he was The Undertaker, managed by, before he was Paul Heyman, the man behind the 1 in 21-1, in me, Mark Calloway. Mark Callis taking Lex Luger. Mind-blowing. 4.7 out of 10. New Revolution. Great American Bash 90. Not a good show. Not a bad show. Kind of evens out. But the show I'm going to get to next, 1991 Great American Bash, is one of the worst shows of all time in the history of not only just WCW, ECW, WWF, whatever, but in professional wrestling history. It's one of the worst shows of all time. It pains me to review it, but I'm going to. I don't want to, but I'm going to. I can't wait. I'm trying to get myself excited for that one. I had to rewatch it because I kind of forgot about stuff. Because I wanted to, but I couldn't. So, I'm going to review that next. But a 4.7 out of 10. This is Dan Clark saying so long. Check out BTUWrestlingNews.com. Facebook, Twitter, all on the board coming up right on the screen right now. So long. 91 comes next. So long. Farewell. Goodbye.